Okay! Welcome back to the Okay Not Okay podcast, where we tackle some of the biggest topics in WWE every single week. And today we say who's next for each of the championships on the WWE's main roster, which is a segment we like to do after every single premium live event to figure out who the GMs should make the next top contenders instead of who they eventually end up going with completely off the board. Nonetheless, let's get it started as always with the championships on Monday Night Raw. So we will start with the World Heavyweight Championship, with Gunther becoming the new champion at SummerSlam over Damian Priest. So let's do our top 3 contenders for Gunther's championship, and then the one person who should not be in the running. Well, this one's easy. He was the champion for quite a while, since WrestleMania, and he's 7-1 since January, and that is your former champion, Damian Priest. No reason to knock him down. He certainly earns a rematch here after having those 3 successful defenses, so we think he should get another shot at Bash in Berlin. The number 2 contender will be Drew McIntyre. He is 4-2 since June 10th and obviously picked up a big win against CM Punk at SummerSlam. If there should be a reward for winning that match, well, it would be another title shot at Bash in Berlin, and appropriately so to do it in Europe, where he just lost at Clash at the Castle. So McIntyre certainly deserves another shot, which we previously said in an earlier video that he should have already been granted this opportunity. And the number 3 contender should be Jey Uso. Well, he's won 5 out of 6 one-on-one matches since Backlash, and he's number 2 in most wins on Monday Night Raw. So it's been a while for him. Now we have a new contender. It makes sense for him to have that opportunity. So Jay, I'd like for you to get this shot, but it seems like you and Sammy instead will be going for the Tag Team Championship. So a little unfortunate that he won't get a World Heavyweight Championship shot for the foreseeable future. Now that said, as we just saw on Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton has actually already been granted that opportunity to face Gunther at Bash in Berlin. So I guess this list does not mean a whole lot at this point, but I get that match. He did lose in a controversial fashion against Gunther, but I guess he will get that shot whether he should or not, since he's not even on Monday Night Raw. Well, who should not get a shot? We try to highlight someone different each month, but it's not always possible. This time we are able to do so, and it's CM Punk. He's simply 0-2 in singles matches since returning to the WWE, and of course this was his first one-on-one match since rejoining the company. So let's see him get a few wins first. Next we have the Women's World Championship that was successfully defended by Liv Morgan at SummerSlam with quite a bit of help from Dominic Mysterio. Nonetheless, she needs a new challenger, so who should be at the top of the list? Well, she's been winning recently and is now 6-2 in one-on-one matches. We're talking about Damage Control's Io Sky. She's been on quite a bit of a roll, but it seems like she's going to go for the Tag Team Championships next week, when she has a number 1 contenders match against Baszler and Stark. The number 2 contender we have is Lyra Valkyria. She's kind of gone back and forth a little bit in picking up wins and losses ever since that nice early run for the Queen of the Ring, but she's still an impressive 5-3 in one-on-one matches. Third, we will drop Rhea Ripley down to 3rd here, which is a little unfortunate. It's not her fault that she doesn't have the title and is only 3-1 in one-on-one matches, but you know, she had her chance, so unfortunately we need to give her a little bit of a break. Let's see her actually win a match or 2 before we put her back into title contention. But my feeling is she will be the one to get the next shot. Now, who shouldn't get the shot? We said we don't really like to highlight the same person, but this time we have to. It's Zelina Vega. She's been on TV quite a bit, and she even picked up her first win just a couple weeks ago. That said, she is still 1-7 in singles matches, so she is nowhere close to getting another shot at the title. On to the Intercontinental Championship, we saw Braun Breaker defeat Sami Zayn at SummerSlam in dominating fashion in a mere 5 minutes. But that said, Sami is already getting the next shot in a rematch, and he deserves it. He had 5 successful title defenses, as well as 1 match in which he lost by disqualification. And he also has the most total wins on Monday Night Raw, so if he wants a shot, and obviously he does, he gets the first chance. Number 2 contender, we're listing Sheamus here. He is 5-3 on one-on-one matches so far, and he really wants that IC title as he has never won it, and he really wants to be a Grand Slam champion. And at number 3, we're putting Big Bronson Reed. He has won 4 out of 5 one-on-one matches since a slow start to the year, but it seems like he decided to go after Seth Rollins instead. So if Rollins is able to compete, he'll probably want Reed. So Big Bronson Reed may be out of this title picture for a bit. But who should not be under contention? Well, we're going to have to put our number 1 guy, Otis. He is 0-5 in singles matches, so I'm not sure anyone thinks he would be trying to get the title anytime soon, but it would be a pretty fun matchup between Breaker and Otis. But nonetheless, let's see Otis get a couple wins first. On to the Raw Tag Team Championships. This is the only one that was not defended in the past week, but we have Balor and McDonough of the Judgment Day as the new champions, and here we're still going to put the Awesome Truth as the number 1 contenders. They did just lose to A-Town Down Under, but that was a separate brand that they fought against, so we won't even hold that one much against them compared to any other matches, and there just aren't a lot of great choices here, so they still have by far the best record at 7-3 in all tag matches. Number 2, we're going to leave Authors of Pain at number 2. They are 5-3 in traditional tags. Well, they did just lose to the New Day this week, but still a better record than number 3, which is the New Day. We have no changes from last month here. The New Day is now back above 500 at 3-2-1-1 in traditional tags, and that quite simply is good enough for the Raw Tag Team Championships that have been an afterthought of late. Who should not be under contention? Well, it's the Creed brothers yet again. No way for us to really change this one up. They did just pick up a win 2 weeks ago under Chad Gable's tutelage, but they just might be tied up with the Wyatt Six for the foreseeable future and only have a 1-5 record in all tag matches. Now let's go to SmackDown. First, the Undisputed WWE Championship. We saw Cody Rhodes retain that title against Solo Sikoa, so we need a new contender, and it should be Andrade. He is 6-0 in one-on-one matches so far in 2024. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but all he does is win, so let's finally give this man a shot. Number 2, we're dropping him 1 spot because he didn't have any one-on-one matches, and he's apparently going to the Raw side of things to take on Gunther, but Randy Orton is still at number 2 on our list. He's still 7-1 in one-on-one action, and of course, lost to Gunther in the King of the Ring finals. And at number 3, Santos Escobar is going to stay here. He continues to pick up some wins, even though beating Apollo Crews is not the biggest win of all time, but it still counts. And so he's 6-3 in one-on-one action and should be near the top of the list. Who shouldn't be the contender? Well, this one's obvious. It's Solo Sikoa still. In fact, he's gotten worse since the last time we brought him up. He is just 1-5-1 in one-on-one action, so he should not get another chance at Cody Rhodes until he actually starts to win. For the WWE Women's Championship, we have Nia Jax as the new champion, defeating Bayley at SummerSlam, and she needs a new contender, so we're going to go with Bianca Belair. She improved to 6-1 in one-on-one matches this month, so she, as a former champion, really deserves another shot at this if she wants it. Number 2, well, we're going to put Bayley at number 2 just because she has a slightly worse record at 5-2-1 in one-on-one matches, but she did have 3 successful defenses during her reign since WrestleMania. And quite frankly, if Aldis wants to give Bayley the shot before Bianca, I'm completely fine with that in this case. She was a good champion, and maybe she can beat Nia if she gets another chance. And at number 3, we're going to drop Tiffany Stratton 1 spot. Here, she is now 5-3-1 in one-on-one action, but she did win 2 straight multi-person singles matches to become Miss Money in the Bank. She doesn't really need a title shot, but she still could get one if she wanted to, but she is now a partner with Nia Jax, so I don't think we'll see that anytime soon. And who shouldn't be? Well, Michin, like Zelina Vega, got her first win of the year in the last month, but she's still just 1-9 in all singles matches, but it's really tough to say that she deserves a shot. On to the United States Championship, LA Knight picked up his first main roster title by beating Logan Paul at SummerSlam, and we will reluctantly give Paul a rematch here if he wants it. He had a very impressive 273-day reign, but only had 2 title defenses in that entire time. So we might want to ding him in most scenarios, but quite frankly, there just aren't many contenders. As you'll see, Kevin Owens remains at number 2. He is 3-2 in one-on-one action, and he's not had a singles match in quite some time, so that just goes to show you how little we're paying attention to this championship. And at number 3, we're surprisingly going to go with Tommaso Ciampa. He picked up a singles win this month, so he is now 2-0 in one-on-one matches, and, well, I guess that's good enough since he's not the tag team champion anymore. Who should not get a shot? Well, it is yet again Carmelo Hayes because he just loses. He's now 1-6-1 in one-on-one action. Keep him as far away from this title as possible. On to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, we did just see the bloodline of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu defeat DIY on Friday Night SmackDown. But we're going to give DIY the first chance. They only held the belts for less than a month, and they at least had 1 successful title defense. And overall, they've won 3 out of 4 with the last loss as the 1 loss amongst those 4 matches. So that's pretty good. Good enough for the SmackDown tag team scene, so they get the first shot. Number 2, we're going to have Angel and Berto here. They got back to 500, and they are 3-3 in all traditional tags. And at number 3, A-Town Down Under, with their win over the Awesome Truth this week, they are back to 500 in all tag matches at 5-5. Who shouldn't be? Well, this one's pretty obvious. It's pretty deadly. They are 1-6 in all tag matches this year. Everybody else that is kind of a tag team, they don't even have enough matches to qualify here. So at least Pretty Deadly is around enough to deserve some recognition to not be a contender. And lastly, we go to the Women's Tag Team Championships, still held by Fire and Dawn somehow. Man, what a bummer there that we had Jade and Bianca not get those titles on Friday Night SmackDown due to Blair Davenport's interference when Bianca had Fire up for a KOD. It was just about to be over. And even worse, they are not even going to be the number 1 contender for the next match, as we saw the Raw side will have the next number 1 contenders match. Nonetheless, they're 7-0 still in traditional tags, so they absolutely should be number 1 on this list. Number 2, it is one of those teams that will be the next number 1 contender, as Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark continue to be very successful at 9-3 in all tag matches. At number 3, well, we don't have a lot to go by here because nobody else had a tag team match that won one, so staying idle for an entire month is going to keep them at number 3. It's Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They did win their last 2 matches, which is the same thing that we said last time. And who should not be? Well, we didn't even change the picture because they did not even have a single match on SmackDown, but it's still going to be Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, but just like Pretty Deadly, at least they've done enough to warrant some sort of recognition here, unlike anybody else. So there you have it. That is our list of who should be the next top contenders for each of WWE's championships. And let's hope that the general managers get one right every once in a while. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see who will get their shots at Bash in Berlin. I'm Dr. OK, and this has been the OK Not OK podcast.